Why, hello! I don't know. We got this on a different media, so we're going to have this going over, I believe, on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. We got it all going on through all different places. We're doing this through OBS, so this is going to be a little bit different. And yes, I did end up having something that goes on with it. And what we're going to roll with is to say, am I the avatar? I don't know. Maybe. So the reason why I'm asking if I'm the avatar is because Avatar has a pre-release that's going on right now over at your local comic book shop, over at your local gaming shop. So you have options where you have Jumpstart, where you open up 2 packs to make 1 deck, or you could go pick up this pre-release bundle, or you could pick up packs, or you could pick up cases. I'm sorry, I didn't pick, or cases, booster boxes. You have collector boosters, you have play boosters, you have a couple different avenues that you can end up going. I didn't go that route. I kind of went all crazy and all ham, which you didn't end up seeing so much of it of Spidey, but I ended up going this route to be able to dash into Avatar. I know some people are big fans of the anime, which made a big transition that's coming over right now through this entire gaming magic place that you can end up having. But what we ended up doing is we're going to crack some of these, and then I'm going to ultimately finish with a mystery bag, I guess. First time ordered a book from Walmart.com, so I'm kind of curious. I'm not too optimistic of the shape because it's in like a bag-like style, and there's a bunch of loose areas, and it doesn't feel like there's any protection. But we'll find that out at the end. So what I'm going to do is going to move this on over, move our pack cam into place, and switch this big one to down here. Did that work? And switch the pack cam on. And then get us into focus. What we're going to start off with is Jumpstart. That's right, we're going to start off with Jumpstart, and we're going to use these 2 other packs, like the prize packs from going to a pre-release. So let's dial in this little pack cam a little bit better here. Configure video, camera control, and turn on autofocus, apply, okay. Perfect. Now we're cooking. Now we are cooking. So we're going to start off with this guy, and then we're going to go over this, crack this open, back it up a little bit, try and make a quick deck out of it, figure out how it ends up going, and then after that we'll crack open this bad boy, or bad boys, as prizes that we ended up winning throughout the entire night. And then we're going to wrap her on up of opening up this awesome piece from Walmart. So, go ahead and do a shout out. I have a multi-screen going on. This is not going to be through StreamYard, so I'm not going to have some of the fancy stuff that normally comes through StreamYard, but I figured to give this a chance, give it a shot, and see how that ends up going. Granted, this has no advertisement ahead of time, so this is impromptu, figure it out on the fly, and here we go. So let's talk about Jumpstart real quick. It takes 2 packs to equal 1 deck, so that's why I have 2 packs here. We're going to crack these bad boys open. There are some cards from Avatar that are exclusively found in these Jumpstart packs. The card that I'm looking forward to, and as you know me, I'm a big bear fan, so I want to be able to get the bear that's in this set. If I don't, it's no big deal. I'll just figure it out. I'll probably pick up the singles, but I wanted to give it a chance to be able to get that. Plus, I wanted you to be able to experience a way to make your own deck. You take these 2 packs, open them up, and that's your deck. You shuffle it, and you have it all set to go. So, let's find out what deck we're going to be building. Coming out of the gate is a mono white. Slide you on down. Mono white, take to the skies. Let's see what's inside this bad boy here. And we see that. Kindly customer. Toucan Puffin. Cola Sheep. Air Nomad Student. Aang, the Last Airbender. Evidently we have an avatar. Rubu Troop. Wow, not the cabbages. Momo, Friendly Flyer. Ooh, it's a legendary creature. Was Aang a legendary? If so, we have to break that. He was. Alright. So we're going to back up real quick. And we're going to break down Aang real quick. Aang, the Last Airbender, costs 3 and a white. So 4 altogether for a human avatar ally. It's a 3/2 flying. And when it enters the enters an airbend up to 1 other target non-land permanent. It's exile it. While it's exiled, its owner may pay 2 colorless rather than pay its mana cost. Whenever you cast a lesson spell, Aang gains lifelink until end of turn. Momo, Friendly Flyer, costs 1 white for a 1/1 lemur bat ally, which is a legendary creature, so it's like another commander, so that's why we're going over with it. Your first non-lemur creature spell with fly-in you cast during each of your turns costs 1 colorless less. Whenever another creature you control with flying enters, Momo gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's a 1/1 flyer. Oh man, my favorite character right here, Appa, Loyal Sky Bison, costs 4 and 2 white. It's a legendary creature, it's a Bison ally. It's a 4/4 flying, and then whenever Appa enters or attacks, choose 1. Target creature you control gains flying until end of turn. Makes sense since it's a flying buffalo or bison. Or we could airbend another target non-land permanent you control. It means we get to exile and we can pay 2 more for a different thing. And then we have Yip Yip. That's right, Yip Yip. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an ally, it also gains flying. Path of Redemption. We have a lesson with airbending lesson. A glider staff. Diving Heath. Something that's unique is since this is going to be Jumpstart and you have 2 different packs, this is letting you color fix for that other color that you end up having. So it taps for a white, but we can choose the other color and it'll come into play tap, but it also can tap for that color. And then we get a cool art of a plains. I have a feeling that's going to go into my SpongeBob deck. But the rest of the pack is going to be a bunch of other little plains. Definitely a solid little start with it. White's okay. I'm glad we got Appa. That's the big thing I would have wanted. But I'm looking for that bear. I want that bear. Are we going to get it? I don't know. Oh, we are not going to get it. Because it's green. And we opened up Zuka. Gain experience with Zuka. So we have a red-white. So we're rocking Boros in this deck. That's what we're going with. And of course, I peeled that on the way in. So, whoop, there we go. Alright, Zuka, let's see what you end up giving us. Zoom in right there. Perfect. Una Archers. Maui Jade Edge. Costs 1 and a red for 1/3 legendary creature, human noble. So that means you could be your commander. An uncommon commander. Oh, there we go. It has prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Exhaust. Pay 3 colors. Put a double strike counter on Maui. Activate the exhaust cost only once. Makes sense that we have a little limiting to it. We got a water balloon. A dragon moose. Ooh, Ooh, a mythic rare with Zuko Firebending Master. Costs 1 and a red for a 2/2 human noble ally. First strike, Fire Blending X. X is where the number of experience counters you have. Whenever a creature attacks, add X red mana until end of your combat. Whenever you cast a spell during combat, you gain an experience counter. I have changed is the flavor text on it. And then we have a Fire Nation attacks. A Moon Goose Lizard. Fanatic Capitation. Firebending Lesson. Fist of Flame. Lost Memories. Good old Lightning Strike. And then, like I said, we have the Thriving Bluffs. So this is letting us fix, like I said before, or attach for a red. And then we have a Fancy Apple Full Art Land. And then obviously you have more of the Avatar lands, which is going to be the basic. But that Apple land is pretty much where it's at. So it looks like that we're going to be rocking Boros is what we're going to end up doing. And it's important to be saying that this is going to be a 40 card deck. So you will be able to play against another person if they had 2 packs of their own. So the reason that we went zooming out is because that covers the Jumpstart experience. Now, let's cover the pre-release experience. So this is going to be something that you can go to your local comic book store, your local gaming shop. You're going to be able to crack this open and build a deck with it. Your massive deck is going to be 40 cards that you can have minimum. You can go more, you can't go less, so you can go more. If you open up multiples of the same card, you can end up using that card. And each of these little things come with a promo that's inside there. And then I can't remember exactly how many packs. It's either 5 or 6 packs that you end up getting that's going to be play boosters. So enough talking about that. But what you end up doing is you're going to end up building a deck. This is called Sealed. This is where we end up building a deck out of what we open up. So that's why we also zoomed out. It's important that you can have different ones. I ended up going with the Aang box because, well, he's the hero. And I wanted to be the Avatar. Any harm in that? So something that you have with the box is you have some punch outs that can help out for you to remember upkeeps or stuff like that. And then you also have counters that you can end up using. I'm guessing it could be either like a flying counter that you can see right there, or a +1/+1 counter, which kind of hides in there. White on yellow is not the best idea. And then you have Aang, we are connected. Everything is connected. Okay. Now we're going to pop this bad boy open. You end up getting a dice, which has the little Avatar logo right there. That's for your D20. I'm assuming the Planeswalker. Yep, the Planeswalker logo for Magic the Gathering is going to be the 1. These are spin downs. What I mean by a spin down is you start from 20, you go 19, 18, and 17. You keep on counting yourself down. So if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, that's not going to end up working. You'll need a D20 that is completely random, and that's not a spin down. So we'll go through the packs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 packs to be able to build our decks. Another thing that you could end up doing is taking your promo card and be able to use that as well into this set. They do have a separator that you can do for your sideboard, because anything that you don't use is your sideboard. And then you also have a way that explains what I just ended up talking about. So we're going to save this last, and we'll see what that ends up going with. We'll back this out and try to give myself as much space as I can. Have to turn on the phone just in case it misses calls. That could be an interesting aspect. Alright, so that's as much as the board I can end up giving. We're going to end up color sorting and be able to go from there. Pack 1 that we're going with. If I get something fancy, I'll bring it right on up. Nice handy dandy thing is I could immediately toss it into the trash. So we got green, red, black, blue, white. Green, white, blue, multicolor. Green, white, multicolor, and red. Ally and Island and the clue token, so we just toss those to the side. Because we don't use those for what we end up building. I see I have my big ugly mug right there in front of it, so for right now I'm going to dodge myself out of that. And get that right there. Oh, I see that I am not wide enough. Let's toss those guys because those guys don't matter. Slide that down, slide that down. Slide that down. And slide that down. Perfect. And we're somewhat dialed in. All right, red, black, blue, white, green. Ooh, of course I get a little size cue. So that's going to go there. Colorless. Multicolor. Green. Oh, I got more shrines coming in here. My shrine deck's going to get an upgrade. Blue, black, black. Lane coming over, so those go over that way. Black, blue, white, green, red, blue, black, red, black, white, green. Oh! Awesome! I got Toft, the first metal bender. Non-token artifacts you control are land in addition to its other types. At the beginning of your end step, Earthbend 2. I kind of wanted to build a commander deck with that. It's a 3/3. It costs a red, a green, a white, and 1. So it looks like we got a commander that we would end up being interested in building. It's Naya, so it's going to be kind of crazy, but I'm going to go heavy artifacts into the Naya. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm excited. I'm going to put that to the side here. Get rid of that box. Put it right there. I'm happy about that. Black. Colorless. Ally token. And a clue token that has APA. I'm really happy with that. It might not be a fancy foil or anything, but it's in the custom art frame. And honestly, it's a card I was really hoping on getting. So at least we got one of the cards I was looking forward to. Alright, so we got a white, a green, a red, a black. I know I kind of zoomed past this, but this is also another alternate art that comes over with it. And that's kind of a neat little thing. I got too excited with Toph. That, a blue, a white, a green, a red, multicolor, black, green, red, that. A copy token. I still like the spider ones better, but that's pretty okay. And then the spirit token. Figured this had newer art, so we might as well see what's going on with it. Alright, coming over. Red, black, blue, white, green, multicolor, Rumble Arena. Vigilance. This land enters. Scribe 1. So I get to look at the top of the card. If you like it, put it on the top, or you can put it at the bottom. Tap, add a colorless. Pay 1, tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Okay. Oh, it has Vigilance, so it's making it into a land. Multicolored. White, green, multicolor. Black. Oh, there we go. Red. Ally. I love that ally. I think that's going to be my favorite ally out of the bunch. And then the clue. We got a clue. Alright, so we got those all color fixed. And now it's time for the promo pack. So what our promo is United Front. Costs X and 2 white. It's a sorcery. It's create X amount of 1/1 white ally creature tokens. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Okay, I can see what you're putting on there. Crack this bad boy open. I'm going to put this over to the side because it's a foil. So we know this is going to be some craziness. So we got Aang's Iceberg, Aang the Last Airbender, Mobile Playful Pet, Vengeful Villains or Villagers, Curious Farm Animals, Pretending Poxbearers, Guiding Kids, Kunzu Warriors, Rabbit Troop, Raise Your Wings, Airbending Lesson, Saint Barrier Storm, and then we also have the Misty Palm Oasis, the cool ally that I'm looking for, with a food token, ally, that's another good one, and another clue token. So the big thing is you want to be able to look over it. You want to make sure you have bombs, you want to make sure you have removal, or you want to have evasion. I guess bread is the way to be able to go with it, but I can't remember how that ends up going. Our biggest stack by far is going to be white. So let's look through this real quick. Does this qualify at all? Destroy a target creature with power 4 or greater. Okay. Earthbend. Alright. Airbend Lessons. Airbend. A target non-land permanent. Okay. Raise Your Wings. Deals 4 damage to our target attacking or blocking creature. You gain life to the excessive damage done. Rabbit. Okay. Landfall. Carice's Warriors. I'm looking for a bomb. Flying Vigilance, that's nice. Flying is evasion. Flash, whenever this enchantment enters the battle or enters, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent until this leaves the battlefield. Water Bend, it's pay 3, sacrifice its enchantment. If you do, scry 1. Okay, I kind of like that because that would be removal. Vengeful Villagers is whenever a creature attacks, choose a target creature an opponent controls. Tap it. You may sacrifice an artifact or a creature. If you do, put a stun counter on that target creature. Okay. More Path is a enchanted creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or a block. Okay, that's a pacifism. Pay 5, sacrifice this. Exile enchanted creature, create a 1/1 white ally looking creature only during your turn. Okay, Compassionate Healer, which is more removal. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, gain 1 life and scry 1. That's nice. Lotus is we get to create an ally for each planes we control. Water Tribute, pay 5. Wow, that's expensive. Earthbend, Protectors. Okay, so like I said, if you happen to get 4 or more of the same copy of a card, you can use that. But normally, I can ignore that. Normally, you won't be able to use that because mostly you can normally have 4. But in this format, whatever you open is what you end up using. Let's look at our multicolors real quick, see if we get anything cool. That guy, when it dies, we get to create a 1/1 token. I think we got 2 of those. We did. Of this Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. Lifelink, whenever you draw a card, whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. This token can block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. And then we got a Cruel Administrator. Riot. This creature gets a +1/+1 counter if you attack this turn. Then whenever this creature attacks, create a 2/2 soldier creature token with Firebending 1. A Vindictive Warden. Fire Breathing. Pay 3. It deals 1 damage to each opponent. Sachiku. Costs 2. Oh, this is another possible commander. Saki. Korsu Warrior. It has 2 hybrid mana, so it means you can either be a green, white, to be able to play for this. So it has 2 hybrid, green or white, and 2. It's a star 4. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 white ally creature token that's tapped and attacking. So I'm going to set that to a side because I'm kind of gravitating to white, and I kind of like the green stacks that we have. Zua Ruthless Admiral. Whenever you sacrifice another creatures you get +1/+0. Or Villagers Reference. Professor Zai, Anthropologist. Discard a card, draw a card. Okay, so it's a rubbishing commander. Return a target instant or sorcery. No, we're not going to be doing that. Azula Cunning Upser. It costs 2, a blue and 2 black. It's a 4/4. Legendary Human Noble Rogue. Firebending 2. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a non-token creature they control. And then to exile a non-land card from their graveyard. During your turn, you may cast the exile card with and may cast it through as though it had flash. Mana spent to this to cast these, or mana of any type can be spent to be able to cast those spells. Okay, so what I'm seeing is this one is where I'm feeling to go that. So before I go solidly into that thing, let's look at black, because black is normally the color for removal. I do like this Orzai Cruelty. Ma Scornful Striker. It's a legendary creature, so it could be your commander. Costs 1 and a black for a 2/2 first strike, and whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. That could be a thing, because that's also, you gotta think, commander is also a big thing, or not commander. Sealed is where they only have 20 life, as compared to commander, it has 40 life. Zuzu Always Lies. Choose one or both. Put a +1 or -1 until end of turn for a target creature, or put a +1/+1 counter. Fatal Flusher or Fissure. Choose a target creature. When that creature dies this turn, you earthbend for 4. Foggy Swamp Hunters. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards, this creature gets lifelink and menace. A Raven Eagle. Costs 2 and a black for a 2/3 flying, and whenever this creature enters or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If it's a creature card exiled this way, create a clue token. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay. Solid little bird, putting some solid work. Merchant of Many Hats. Oh, we got a foil version of Deadly Precision. As an additional cost to cast this card, pay 4 more or sacrifice an artifact or a creature destroyed. So that's a removal, so that would be something that would be nice. I think we're a little lighter on the removal part, though. That's nice. Permits your opponent's control, lose hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. When it enters the battlefield, you may tap it. When you do, destroy a target creature with a power of 4 or less. Cryon, Death Touch, Swamp Cycling. And whenever you sacrifice, put a +1/+1 counter. Okay, so I'm comfortably going to go over and remove that because I don't think we're going to go black. Because there's not enough removal and I'm not super interested into it. We're going to look at the blue, which we have that. Iguana Parrot. Otter Penguin. Figured that would be looking more a little bit awesome, but Lost Lessons. I don't think we're going to go blue because of the lack of the stuff, and the stuff that we have isn't amazing. Fortune. So we're going to eliminate blue just because we don't have enough. We want to make sure we have playables. So you want to build a 40 card deck. You normally want to go with 18 lands. So that gives us, what, 22 playables is what I'm going to end up going with for the aspect of this. We got a Treetop Freedom Fighter, Firebending Student, Zuko, Exiled Prince, which is a legendary creature, so we'll break this guy down real quick. Costs us 3 and a red for a 4/3. Firebending 3. That means whenever this creature attacks, we get to add 3 red mana, and it lasts until end of combat. Pay 3, exile the top card of your library. You may play this card. And then it has, I want the avatar, I want my honor, my throne. Goose Lizard. You got archers. They have reach. Dragon Duo. Porcupine. Oh, we have a foil red. Target creature you control fights a target creature your opponent controls. If a creature an opponent controls is dealt excess damage that way, you get that much red. Until end of turn, you don't lose mana that's red that's unspent. And then you have the Boomy Bash. Okay, so I don't feel like I'm going to go that route. It's also important that we'll end up breaking down Toph. We're not going to end up playing it because it's 3 colors. But like I said, I would definitely be planning on building that commander. So let's lay out the green real quick. We got the Kashi Island Plaza. When it enters the battlefield, search a land card for X amount of basic lands, where X is the number of shrines that you control. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Whenever another shrine you control enters, search your library for a basic land and put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This is definitely going to be an upgrade to my Shrines deck. This is definitely going into that deck. I don't think we're going to try going that route, but hey. An Audience. Tap it for a green. Costs us 1. Okay. If you control a creature with a 4 or greater, add 2 green instead. Another enchantment. Enters the battlefield. Earthbend 2. Then search your library for a basic land card and put that onto the battlefield tapped. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters the battlefield, put a quest counter on this enchantment. Whenever you do, it has 4 or more +1 or quest counters on it. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. It gains trample until end of turn. Cycle of Renewal. Sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Origin of Metal Bending. Destroy an artifact thing. Put a +1/+1 counter. It gains indestructible until the turn. Oh, looks like we got 2 of those Kashi Island Plazas. Search the library for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Okay, so it's a regrowth. Badger Mole. When this creature enters, Earthbend 2, target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste. It's still a land. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or it is exiled, return it onto the battlefield tapped. Creatures you control get +1/+1 counters, or creatures will. Excuse me. with +1/+1 counters have trample, earthbending lesson. Ooh, this is interesting. Flopsy Boomy Buddy. Costs 4 and 2 green for a 4/4. Legendary Ape Goat. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Each creature you control with a power of 4 or greater can't be blocked by more than one creature. Saber-tooth lesson. That also has forest cycling, where we get to cycle it for 2. And then we have the Whoppy thing. So we're going to go with these guys. I really like this, not just because of the shrines things. It just lets us look for basic lands equal to the number of shrines. So we get to look for at least one whenever another shrine. We get to keep on going. And then we'll end up going with the white, where we end up having a support that's going to come over with that. So I'm going to be the kamikaze. I'm going to rock all this green. And we're going to cycle right through here. We're going to go here, here. Since we're going with lands, we're going to go here. You know what? Flying and scrying. Put that in the side. Put that there, put that there, put that there. White Lotus. That's a mana vault. That's going in. That. And then obviously that. So let's see what we're at here. Oh, we should be looking at our enchantments and equipment here. When this equipment enters, destroy a target permanent, untap an artifact, enter each player's untapped set. Okay, and add 1 mana of anything. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30. So that means we have 8 cards that we're going to end up cutting right off the get-go. We're keeping those for sure. We like that because it's rampant. We like this because it deals with landfall. We're going over with that. Put a +1/+1 counter, destroy a target artifact. I'll put that in the sideboard. We use that for rampant. When it enters, that gives us counter. Earthbend lets us get bigger, so I'm going to put that here. We need a little bit more creatures, and that gives us more things. Zoop. Whenever a creature dies, I think I have a couple of those. Yep, there's that. When it deals 4 damage to a blocking, you gain life to the excess. We're not expecting much, but it's our lighter removal package, which we're going to end up needing. This is going to go over with that. Whenever this creature attacks, an opponent tap it. That's okay, but we'll cut that for right now. With the ramp, we want to be able to have a payoff. Sandstorm. Counter Warriors. Ice Spur removes this stuff. Aang is we want to bounce that, so So we got 4 cards cut out of the deck so far. So we need 4 more. Nope. I think that's just being cute, so that's going to be 3. No, I need that. So I just need 3 more cards. I could cut well, that makes another body, so that's really 2. Gliding, flying, okay. Destroy a target part of 4 greater, and then we get the earthbend. Or we can earthbend. Yep. 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 I'm going to talk that. Feel like we need that. Whenever a creature dies, if there's a lesson card in your graveyard, you gain 2 life. Reach and Death Touch. Well, we'll see how much that goes over with it. So that cuts off 3 more, so I need to cut 1 more. Okay, so we got the real tough choice here. We got to cut 1 more card. I feel like that lets us ramp out something. So I don't really want to be cutting that out. Don't really want to be cutting that. We'll just cut one of these guys here. There we go. Here's our deck. Let me slide you right back down here. If I was playing tonight, this would be where I'll be rocking. 2 copies of Warriors, Redonkulous Audience, Guider Kids, Water Tribe Captain, 2 Sandbender Storms, a Path of Redemption. Oh, I gotta go 1 more. I just realized that. Aang's Iceberg, Aang, Lifebender, Saki, Rabbit Root Troop. Well, we'll just cut that all together. There we go. Sabertooth, Moose Lion, Flopsies, Badger Bowl, Shared Roots, City of the Renewal, Earthbender's Ascension, and then 2 copies of Kashi Island Plaza, and then 1 copy of the United Fronts. We're going wide, and that's what we're going to end up rocking it out with. We're making more creatures while we're ramping. Ramping's letting us get over to the big thing to make this X-Spell to be amazing. So, while we end up doing that, we'll pick up our mess here. And break down the cards. Well, actually, let's save that for later after we get done opening up. Assuming that we do decent, we open up our 2 prize packs of the night. That's what we ended up getting. These are what they end up giving us over at the things for bringing it home, our pre-release. So, let's see what we ended up opening up and what we ended up winning. Alright, how's that zoom? We'll do it in a better zoom. There we go. Focus. Do another live thing to make sure that we have that. Configure video. Just make sure that you're back on auto. Okay. Okay. Swamp Snare, Giant Koi, Yip Yip, Foggy Swamp Vine Bender, Aang's Journey, Wandering Musicians, Huru, Talent, Cruel Administrator, a Crescent Island Temple, Vengeful Villagers, Obsessant Pursuit, a Foil Rumble Arena, Foil Misty Palm Oasis, ally, and a clue. So we got a clue. Alright, here's the last pack that we're going to be cracking on open. Here we go. Azula Always Lies. Rowdy Snowballers. Razor Wings. Zaki's Audience. Borquan Pine. Wandering Musicians. Epic Downfall. Bitter Work. Fire Nation Palace. Turtle Duck, Swamp, and a Ballistic Boulder, and a Soldier token. Firebending 1. Alright, so this is coming over to the time where we're going to go over what we think the top card is. And for me, it is going to be Toph, the First Metal Bender. So this is a card that I wanted to end up picking up, and it's definitely something I'm happy to have. That way it's one that I can be jacking off the list. So we're slashing that off the list. Now we got those now on the possible build lines. Let's break Toph, the First Metal Bender. It costs a red, green, white, and 1. It's a 3/3 non-token artifacts you control are lands and additional to their other types. At the beginning of your end step, Earthbend 2. So that means we end up putting a land or taking one of the lands, making it a 0/0 elemental. That gets 2+1/+1 counters onto it, and it stays on there. And then if that creature or land ends up leaving by any ways, it comes right back and it's just a regular land. So what we're planning on doing is doing some bunch of artifact shenanigans, and we're not going token route with it. We're going with non-tokens to be able to ramp it out. So like your Soul Ring and anything like that, it's a land and it's additional taps. So it kind of makes it a little bit challenging for removal, and allows a big ramp to be able to go over to the bigger spells. Something that we're super excited about, super happy that we're going to have as probably a future deck tech. If you want that, let us know. If you're on YouTube, go over and follow us over at A Fifth of Jack Gaming, where you could end up putting down in the comment section that you're super interested into that. If you're catching this on the replay, we're going to end up having that. And we're also going to take parts of this video, put it all throughout the entire next week, where we end up sprinkling that along. So with that being said, that was an awesome little experience. We're going to do a little bit of cam shenanigans. We're going to put me as a bigger one, slide me back up top, move the good old pack cam, and open up this package that we got from Walmart. Like I said, I'm not excited. I'm kind of curious of what kind of condition this is going to be. This is going to be a book that you have no clue about it. All I'm going to say, it's a compendium, and if you watch Brave and the Boys, if you watch their videos, it was, or the latest video when they had the compendium, this kind of pushed me the rest of the way to be able to pick it up. It was definitely something that was on my radar because it's Hickman. Oh man, I just gave a spoiler with it. Oh no. But like I said, it's in a bag, so I'm not excited about that. I'm a little bit worried, to be completely honest. So I got her cut out, or bringing her out. Oh, she didn't fare as bad. I'm not so worried about it. It's just minor. Oh, man. Why do they have to have spine stuff that happens? East of West. The End of Times Compendium. This is 1,300 pages. And if you end up following Absolute Batman, this has the artist that's into that, which is Dragati. And I think Martin is going to be the inker. This has the 45, or 1 through 45 of East of West, and the World One Shot. Cover price is $60. Or $59.99 to be precise, $80 Canadian. It's a Team Plus book. And on the back it says, we would tell you to pray, but it wouldn't do any good. you have earned what is coming to you. So this is going to be something that's going to be amazing. That's going to go over with it. It's a Western, so it's not a superhero book, and it's Hickman, so it's a long burn, so it's nice to have the complete collection that goes along with it. Yes, I know it comes out with the deluxes, but I never was able to be able to pick up the deluxes at an affordable price that I wanted to pick them up for. So I ended up missing out on those deals. And he said that he wanted those to get reprinted, which I'd be okay with that if they got reprinted, because I may end up, if I like the story, I may end up upgrading and going from there like I did with my Saga. So that covers everything that we did in this big old random live stream that we ended up having. We opened up some Avatar that just came out. Matter of fact, my store plays in 17 minutes, and be able to see what there's going on with the pre-release. To everyone that's there, have fun. Good luck with your polls. And if you're happy to do it yourself with your own magic stuff, good luck with your polls. Hopefully you get something that you're looking for. And until next